Missouri team looking for the upset of the day in college football. Thanks, Tom. Just heard Eli Drinkwitz address his team. He mentioned one thing: opportunity. The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized within the lifetime of the opportunity. That opportunity for this Missouri football team is right now. They have the #1 team in the nation on the other side of a garage door that is getting pounded on right now. It is intense in here. There is focus, and this is a team that said there's nowhere else they would rather be as they walk out right now.
Yeah.
Jordan, that was a perfect run for you. Last week for Georgia, an imperfect performance against Penn State. There is only one goal for Kirby Smart's Bulldogs, that is perfection. They achieved it last year with the national championship, but now they've got to get another SEC win as they come on the road to Columbia, Missouri to try to do just that. Cole Hewlett, you sit him out with the head on.
Coach, the stretch zone play that Missouri runs is going to be critical for your defense to stop tonight. How will you get that done?
Set the edge and knock it back, man. You got to set great edges. You got to knock it back. You can't overrun it.
Is there anything else we can see from Brock Bowers? He's been a do-it-all football player for your team all season.
Well, we'll see tonight. He's a hell of a competitor, man. Love to watch him play. He loves the game. He plays it the right way.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We just heard about Brock Bowers. I said he's one of the Heisman hopefuls, one of the best players on the best team in the country. And the problem with Brock Bowers is this. You put a corner on him, he's too big, he's too physical. You put a safety on him, he's too fast. And watch how Georgia moves him. This is what makes him so dangerous on this play. He's got one responsibility. Safety's got him. He moves. Now the other safety rolls down to get him. He goes in motion. Now the opposite safety has to have him. 3 times before the ball was snapped, the responsibility for Brock Bowers changes. Again, start him in attached. Move him outside. Now he's one-on-one on a corner. You change the responsibility. You change the picture right before the snap. Set up a matchup, and he's going to win that every time. And let's not forget, he'll break one for 70. He'll jump over a corner, but he is still a physical tight end at heart, and he will run you to the sideline and open up holes. That's what makes Brock Bowers so dangerous.
He is the #1 goal for Missouri to try to slow down tonight. Meanwhile, Cole, on the Missouri side, the biggest question mark this week, Luther Burden. He's a 5-star recruit. He hasn't gotten a ton of touches when things aren't going well for Mizzou. How big a role can he play tonight?
I think he can play a critical role. We watched him in practice yesterday. Did have an ankle taped up. Did not seem to be exactly 100%. But I do think he's a guy that can still be a playmaker. I think maybe even more of a decoy than anything else. If Eli Drinkwitz can get him on the field, move him around a little bit, I know for a fact after visiting with the Georgia staff, they will respect Luther Burden if he's in the game.
So Georgia will return, and what an opportunity for this Missouri program, Jordan. They beat #1 BCS Oklahoma in 2010. They've never beaten the AP team, and this environment might just help them.
I tell you what, I was in there when Eli gave his speech. There was focused faces. There was optimism. There was excitement. This team is ready to take on Georgia here.
No return for Kearis Jackson, and now we see Stetson Bennett for the first time tonight. Last year, he may have been the most polarizing great player in college football. Now, he's just a great player.
Yeah, last year at this point, we didn't know, is he a game manager? Can he be somebody that can take this team to a national championship and beyond? Those questions were answered, and this Georgia offense, so much different than last. It's a Georgia offense that can beat you through the air, and really that's their strength with 19 84, Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington. They're going to throw a bunch of different looks at you, and it all centers around that national championship winning quarterback, Stetson Bennett.
They split Bowers out with Washington inside into the left side. Kenny McIntosh is the tailback. Bennett to the slant, little bit behind and incomplete. Trying to find Marcus Roseby-Jackson.
And that one just a little off by Stetson Bennett. It's a slant route. You want to leave that on the front shoulder, just a hair behind. Little nerves early in this game. That first pass for a quarterback, never your best usually, but a great play on the outside to break that up as well.
Dogs will try to run it. Missouri is right there. That's Christian Williams. Cole, you think if Missouri has any advantage tonight, it's going to be their bigs on the defensive line.
They have interior defensive linemen that can be disruptive. And you see Christian Williams right there just busting through over the left side B gap, being able to penetrate and get an early TFL. It's what this Missouri defense has to do. Be problematic early on behind the line of scrimmage.
Third down here. Keep an eye on Brock Bowers. He's on the right side of the line of scrimmage, attached at tight end right now. Let's see if they move him to try to set up a matchup for this third down, and they do.
Made eye contact with Bennett before the shift. Third down, 14 for Georgia. Pressure coming up the middle. Bennett, pressure, sidesteps it, gets one man in the air, and goes down, and Missouri with a big stop on Georgia's first possession.
You cannot start any better than this for Missouri. They have two really good defensive ends. Trajan Jeffcoat, Isaiah McGuire, both of them right there in the backfield, getting pressure on Stetson Bennett and able to finish it off to force a punt on the opening drive for Georgia.
Brett Thorson to punt it away. It's Luther Burden, the five-star, to return. Fair catch. And that's where Missouri's offense will take over. They're led by a sophomore from St. Louis out of Chaminade, Brady Cook, who grew up a Missouri fan, whose parents are here tonight and brought him to Tiger games as a kid. Never before has a Missouri quarterback beaten the AP #1 team. What an opportunity in front of Cook tonight.
Yeah, and what an opportunity to continue the path of development. I tell you what, watching Brady Cook, his decision-making, his downfield passing, all have continued to improve with experience. And I tell you what, if I'm Eli Drinkwitz, I'm looking at that play sheet after that start by my defense. First couple plays here, I'm taking a shot at some point.
Tailback to start the game is Cody Schrader, the D2 transfer from Truman State. They'll end around, they get it into Burden's hands, and on the sweep, he had to fight for everything.
And that's huge. Get the ball early into the hands of your playmaker. In Missouri's 2 losses this season, he's only had 2 touches for 9 yards, 1 reception, 1 rush. Got to get the ball in your playmaker's hands early, get him in rhythm, get some confidence going.
Daniel Pete now in a tailback from Mizzou. And this is Lovett. So both talented wide receivers have gotten a touch in the first 2 possessions.
I like how you spread the ball outside, try to get it to the perimeter early, Tom, and you mentioned it. 2 guys who can be dynamic. 7 and 3, both pointed out to me on the field by the Georgia defensive coaching staff as guys that have to be aware of. But you show a couple of things. You show the stretch zone play from a blocking perspective with your offensive line, and then show that you're willing to go the opposite direction with your playmakers.
The Georgia defense, which was stout through their first 3 games, finally gave up some points last week against Kent State. Best defense in the country last year. Cook pressure, escapes, and had to work just to get past the line of scrimmage.
That's some leakage here on third down. It comes from the interior. D-line stunting hard to the left, and if you're an offensive lineman, you got to work, and press those double teams inside to make sure nothing gets up the middle. Good job by Brady buying some time.
Jack Stonehouse to punt it away. Ladd McConkey had some issues with punt return last week. End over end. McConkey will take a fair catch And Georgia's second possession will begin just outside the 10-yard line. Georgia 3 and out on its first possession. Stetson Bennett will have the ball in his hands when we return to Columbia.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Fisher's Baked Beans, the sure side of a good time.
It's the greatest sandwich roster ever assembled.
Next is the new Great Garlic. The tender rotisserie-style chicken is sublime, and the roasted garlic aioli adds a lovely pecan flavor.
Man, the second retirement really changed you. The new Subway series. What's your pick?
Luxury exemplified. Innovation electrified. With Apple Music seamlessly integrated. The all-new, all-electric EQS SUV from Mercedes-Benz.
In SEC sports, the ifs are non-stop. If you're game day ready, if your QB stays healthy, if your team could just find a kicker. If you love the tradition, the rivalry, the edge of your seat action on and off the field, we're right there with you. As the official bank of the SEC.
Sorry. We just can't help you with the ifs.
Cedric Van Pran up on the second level. A nice cutback. Going to be an explosive play for Georgia. Ball pops loose. Missouri gets a big one.
These are the plays you have to capitalize on in games like this.
And so Cook under center now. Little misdirection. A lot of window dressing. He's pressured and goes down. The Georgia defense answers with a big play of its own. Kamari Lassiter.
Well, I tell you what, from down here on the field, it looks like early on this Missouri offensive line just getting overpowered by some movement up front.
Absolutely. Blocking the stretch play there, get another play action, but keep in mind, long developing play. It's fine to go play action, but you go play action up the middle and then play action to that rocket motion around back, gives that Georgia defense a lot of time to penetrate.
On second down, this is Pete. And Pete gets stuffed for a loss. Jamal Walthour is there. We
saw the plan early on, right? Get the ball to the perimeter if you're Missouri. Got Burden going early on. I'd like to see some quick throws to the perimeter. I know it's 3rd and long right here. You're not going to take a chance pushing the ball too far downfield. Expect a layup throw, maybe a perimeter screen, get your wide receiver in space, or a screen to the running back.
Burden on the logo right here.
Condensed formation.
Cook, 3rd and long. Completes for basically nothing, and they'll have to punt it away. That's Tochke Dove, the senior wide receiver, stopped by Christopher Smith. Well, Missouri unable to take advantage of the turnover. We ran into former Tiger coach Gary Pinkel at dinner last night. He's headed to the College Football Hall of Fame. He said, if you win games like this, you can't make mistakes. You've got to create some breaks. But Eli Drinkwitz's team unable to take advantage of the takeaway. Jack Stonehouse. And McConkey again, another fair catch. Missouri owning the field position. Nobody has found the scoring column. 9:30 to go. Stetson Bennett coming back here in the first quarter.
Wherever we come from, we all have one thing in common. We all want the incredible new iPhone 14 Pro. Now at T-Mobile. T-Mobile gives you Apple TV Plus included. So watch your favorite Apple originals on the most advanced smartphone display ever. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us with Apple TV Plus included. Now at T-Mobile.
On an urgent Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Hurry! It's almost kickoff. I am. Oh, they logged me out! What's the password?
Okay, it's P23XR ampersand.
Dude, the caps lock is on! Ah! How much time we got?
I missed basic cable. Here we go.
What was there? What was there? Oh no, I got the spinning wheel!
Fanstown by Dr. Pepper.
This commercial. Game hasn't started. They play these too much.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC.
It was one of the biggest wins in Mizzou history with a game day crowd, a record 18,000 on the quad. John McGaffey returned the opening kick for a touchdown, and Missouri knocked off BCS #1 Oklahoma. They stormed the field afterwards. Sooners threw some punches, but Missouri got the last laugh, 36-27. Chase Daniel was not the quarterback on that team. Blaine Gabbert was, but Chase is invested in this one. He said, if Mizzou wins today, I'm paying a bar tab for everybody at Harpo's tonight. They'll probably take the goalpost there, too, if they win. You in, Jay?
Yeah, and Chase better hope that you're not going. I know you're running that thing up as much as possible. You're the mayor of Como.
Listen, he's got enough in his NFL earnings. That was a wise move for guys. Made 5 starts in his career. Spin move, and that is rejected at the line of scrimmage. It's Isaiah McGuire out of Tulsa Union with another big stop.
Well, I tell you what, last year I thought Mizzou had 2 of the most underrated defensive ends in the entire conference. And right now, early in this game, they're showing up. Isaiah McGuire, Trajan Jeffcoat have both been huge early on, and I am really impressed with the confidence and the speed that Missouri has started this game.
Georgia guilty of sleepwalking against Kent State last week at home with an early start. They've got plenty of red-clad fans in the building tonight. And the Missouri intensity ratcheted up with number 1 on the other sideline. Play clock late. Straight ahead run. And a gain of 3 to set up third and about 7.
I'll tell you one thing, Cole, that Missouri's doing up front is they're getting their one technique angled, and they are just hitting the center from the side, really trying to stop those double teams by Georgia from getting to the next level, allowing their linebackers to run free. And so far, that plan is holding up.
Absolutely. That penetration coming because guys getting north and south quickly for this Missouri defensive line.
Third down 7. Bennett takes advantage of the time, but it's a drop. It's Ladd McConkey, who's had a tough last 5 quarters. A drop last week, a drop touchdown, a fumble, a muff punt. Kirby Smart said nobody wants to fumble the ball, but it's about focus with him, and that's been the teaching point.
Yeah, really good concept here, and Stetson does a great job with some stuff around his legs there of delivering that ball. I'll tell you what, sometimes as a receiver, it's just all mental. It's between the ears. Sometimes you need a layup throw on the outside, a quick one, just to get things going, to shake it off. Kind of like a hitter in a slump, you know? You got to do something to slump bust.
Mark Gray said so. Thorson gets it away. Burden going to try to return. First man by him, by the second as well. Taken down at the 45-yard line after a 49-yard punt, 6 on the return.
Every day I work hard and eat what's right for me. Isn't that right, Frank? Frank's my goat. No alarms tell me when to snack. Nice try, Kevin. I don't care about posts and likes. I mean, who am I like? Missed a spot. He always does. So my advice? Stop looking for advice. And if you want to grab a snack, grab a snack.